Welcome back to my channel at The Movie Optimist, everybody. Today I want to go over some of the key things that were trending in the movie world as of last week. I don't often have a chance to get around to doing it the week of, by the time I get out of work and get home and edit it. Most people have already talked about it, but I want to start creating a new segment called Last Week's Topics and kind of just briefly touch upon what I think of everything that was trending in Hollywood. So, welcome to my first time doing this. I hope you enjoy it, and if you guys do, I'll start doing this on a weekly basis. I'm not going to cover absolutely everything, just the biggest topics in my opinion. Some people might think other topics are more important, but for me, this is what I really focused on and paid attention to. Coming in at number 5 is the showrunner of the new season of Daredevil, pretty much talking about how they're going to cold shoulder She-Hulk and not even address the fact that that ever happened, where they made Daredevil take a walk of shame. One of the most emasculating things you could do to a superhero is put a memeable scene of something into that show and make Daredevil look like a joke. I know some people thought it was really funny, and that's fine if you do, but I personally don't like seeing that level of disrespect done to heroes that I greatly care for. I did think it was kind of a slap in the face. So the fact that the showrunner is like not even addressing the fact that She-Hulk exists is hilarious, and I'm here for it. I'm really glad they're doing that. I don't like the She-Hulk show. I know that it has its fans, but that show's one job was to make me laugh, and they failed at it, and there's nothing worse than watching a comedy that's not funny, but they're trying to be. It's just like cringy. I do love Tatiana Maslany. I think that she's a fantastic actress, but she was given a horrible script to work with and not a great showrunner. So yeah, no, I'm here for it. I'm happy about it. Moving on to the next topic. Coming in at number 4 is Warner Brothers is getting sued by the estate that owns the rights to Superman because Superman is getting released in certain territories that they don't want it to be released, like Canada and the UK, which are some of the biggest markets for movies on the planet. And that is a crushing blow to Warner Brothers and something they need to go to court and snip in the butt fast because this movie's coming out in less than a year. Why do I think they do this? I didn't study law. I don't know the ins and outs of it. I'm pretty sure a lot has to do with the fact that the rights for Warner Brothers to distribute it anywhere they want expired a couple years ago. But where were these people when they were dropping the Zack Snyder cut and when they were dropping, Black Adam and Superman shows up in that, or the Justice League? Like, why were they not striking then? To me, it kind of seems like DC was kind of in the dumps. No one was really showing up for those movies anymore because everyone knew it was getting canceled, or everyone knew that the movies sucked. I personally liked them, but I know that a lot of the rest of the world did not. And maybe to them it was like, we're gonna sue them, but the property is kind of in the gutter, so let's just wait. And now that James Gunn came in and rebooted the whole thing and made his own Superman movie and put out a trailer, and it became the most watched trailer in Warner Brothers history, maybe the estate's like, yes, let's strike while the iron's hot. I really can't see what else it could be other than them just trying to get a payday. It's just trying to get a cash grab. It's like a guy sticking his foot under the city bus on purpose to sue them and get money out of it. It just seems like a desperate attempt at getting money, and I'm not a legal expert, so I don't really know what needs to be done here, but I know that Warner Brothers needs to act fast and get this settled before the movie releases, because if they lose those markets, that will be a crushing blow for this movie. I don't think that Superman needs to make $1 billion to be successful. I don't think that this movie even needs to break even to be successful. Unfortunately, Warner Brothers and DC Studios is in the gutter right now. The last couple of movies they put out tanked horribly financially, but they also weren't loved by critics and audiences, and I think the beginning of righting the ship has to be just putting out a movie that unifies both audiences and critics. If they put out a Superman movie that makes $250 million, which it wouldn't break even, it would lose money, but everybody loves it, and then they put out a Supergirl movie, and then that makes 50 or 100 million more dollars, but everyone loves it, you're gonna slowly start to see a pattern like this going up every time they release a new movie, where slowly you're gaining the trust back of people. Then these movies will hit streaming and find new life, and more people will be like, oh, we should have went to the theater to check out that Superman movie. Let's check out the next movie they put out because it's actually good. And slowly you're going to build that base back up to the point where you will have profitability, but not with the very first movie in Superman coming out. That movie just has to be good, but I don't think it needs to make money, and I think David Zaslav, James Gunn, and everyone over there knows that. I mean, if the movie comes out and makes $3 million worldwide in its entirety, they're probably going to pull the plug. But if it comes out and it does modest, and then Supergirl comes out and it does a little bit better, I think DC's going to be okay. And coming in at number 3, we have Anthony Mackie making those remarks about Captain America doesn't represent America. At least not to him. And of course, most people on the planet lost their minds. But I'm not gonna lie, I agree with him. I don't think Captain America represents America at all. I think Captain America is a symbol of what America should aspire to be. I mean, oftentimes in Captain America movies, he's literally going against his own American government because he doesn't agree with them, and then he goes off and he makes the right decision. And that's what Anthony Mackie is trying to express in his remarks, that he doesn't represent America. He represents a man that just wants to do the right thing and strive to be the best possible person he could be, and that everybody should follow him in that ideology. Captain America is an ideal. He's not a puppeteer for America. So the fact that people are going crazy over it, I think Anthony Mackie's head is in the right space with this. I don't think he did anything wrong. If you disagree, that's fine. Opinions are like assholes. Everyone has one. So I really don't think he did anything wrong. I think that he is exactly what a Captain America needs to be in a person. Somebody that isn't always going to agree with your ideas or the government's ideas, but at the end of the day is going to make the decision that somebody like Captain America should. And coming in at number 2, we have the news, or well, it's a rumor, but it has enough traction that I figured I'll talk about it here. The Russo brothers might be at least helping in getting the X-Men off the ground for the MCU, and they're gonna be kind of like spearheading it, maybe even directing. A lot of people are kind of complaining, it's like, oh, you know, they have their hands in too many pots over at Marvel, they're doing too much, and it's like, are they though? I get it. Like, look, they left after having an incredibly successful run at Marvel and started doing things like The Gray Man, Cherry, and the new Netflix film Electric State with Chris Pratt. And Cherry and The Gray Man wasn't received very well. Not that many people liked it, which in turn has caused the excitement of Electric State to go down. I myself liked The Gray Man, and I'm really excited for the Electric State. I will agree that Cherry wasn't that good, but it in no way ruins my excitement for them coming back to the MCU to do Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. Maybe on their own, they're not the best at storytelling, but when they're working under Feige and helping him bring his idea to life, they are masterful at their jobs in bringing that vision to life and making it as heartfelt and epic as possible.
Then finish it. 'Cause I'm with you to the end of the line.
I'm with you to the end of the line, pal.
Winter Soldier is my favorite standalone MCU movie that's done by them. Civil War is not my favorite, but it has incredible heart and incredible last act, and they did that movie. Infinity War and Endgame are the greatest superhero team-up movies on the planet that got standing ovations. People went back millions of times to see it. It made almost $3 billion. They are fantastic employees of the MCU. They probably have a plaque on the wall that says employees of a lifetime. So again, I'm super excited that they're coming back to do Doomsday and Secret Wars, but that also means that I'm excited to see what they do with the X-Men. They're not just great directors, they're great at doing casting. Because of them, we have Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman, who is so incredible in that role. We have Tom Holland, who is still Spider-Man to this day in his billion-dollar franchise. And I'd be so excited to see what they do with an X-Men, who they help cast, how they bring that vision to life, how it differs from the Fox universe of X-Men characters. I think that that is incredible. I don't think that they should do everything. I don't think that they should do the standalone movies, but something like the X-Men coming to the MCU, it's gonna kind of be the new Avengers. You know, we don't have Cap anymore, we don't have Iron Man anymore, so the X-Men are gonna be the focus. So for them to come in and kind of lay the groundwork of what the X-Men tone should be is really smart, because they get it, they understand the characters in these universes, and then they could send them off and have sequels done by other people. But I think that them laying the groundwork is a genius idea, and I am really excited for it. And then last but not least, and the dumbest thing that I've seen on the internet last week, is everyone going up in arms over the new little snippet of the Superman trailer where you see Superman's face while he's flying through the Fortress of Solitude. So many people are complaining about the way the shot looks and how his face looks distorted, or how it has too much CGI on it. First of all, it doesn't have any CGI on it. It's pretty much all practical. They shot the background first, and then they shot him second flying, probably on wires, and then they hyperimposed it over the background. So everything you see is real. It's not CGI. And the reason why his face looks like that is because they're using a very wide camera, probably like a 1.8 millimeter. And when things are that close to a wide angle camera like that, it sort of distorts the face a little bit and makes it look like the center of it is stretching. And that's kind of what you're seeing in his face. but it makes you able to kind of see both him, his face, and his surrounding area. You wouldn't be able to get that on a 50mm lens. I personally think it looks cool. A lot of people don't, and that's fine. You could think that that shot looks weird and not like it, but I don't personally think that there's anything wrong with it. The only thing that I can understand why people are a little upset is because the image does look a little flat in terms of its lighting. You don't have a lot of shadows on his face, and typically in movies when things have a shadow on them, when the camera is shooting shadow side of somebody's face and the other side of their face is lit up by something, whether it be the sun or a lamp or whatever, it looks more cinematic, and Zack Snyder did that in his movies, and that's what everyone's comparing them to. You're comparing the Superman fight scene from Man of Steel and how it looks here to how James Gunn has done it here, which he's done before in films like Guardians of the Galaxy with Adam Warlock, and no one complained about it then, but because you already have somebody like Zack Snyder who is such a visual storyteller, say what you will about Zack Snyder and the way he tells stories or how his stories unfold, you might not like him, but his movies are always beautiful, and that's because first and foremost he was a cinematographer and he loves lighting movies. He loves when things are dark and moody, and yes, dark and moody does look way more cinematic, but James Gunn is utilizing what they call high key lighting, which is where everything is a little bit more bright and you don't have that many shadows on the face, and that's not the wrong way. There's no right or wrong way to do it. It's just how he wanted to do it, which makes sense in a Superman movie where in this version of Superman, James Gunn wants to portray him as light and bright and vibrant colors and a hopeful Superman, and not a moody, dark, brooding Superman like Zack Snyder's was. And I'm okay with that. Do I like Zack Snyder's visual style better than James Gunn's? Yes. I myself am a filmmaker and I do favor dark shadows and moodier images, but I'm okay with a change if it means we're gonna get a good story. I'm willing to see what James Gunn does here with his Superman. The lighting doesn't bother me because I'm aware it's just a different style of it, and I'm okay with all different styles. I'm okay with different art. I could view all art differently and still love them all the same, and that's what I'm doing here. So I don't think it's that big of a deal, and I think that at the end of the day, there's really three groups of people. There are people that are excited to see Superman like me, and will look at a trailer like this, and it's just like, yeah, it doesn't look like Zack Snyder's, but it still looks fun and enjoyable. Then there are the Snyder fans that just want a reason to shit on this movie and hate on it because they think somehow that in doing that, they're gonna get Zack Snyder to come back. It's never gonna happen. You might as well just be happy you're getting a Superman movie and support it. And then you get the third group of people that are just regular everyday people that don't care about the Zack Snyder stuff, don't care about the James Gunn stuff, and they look at this and they just don't really like it. And that's totally fine. I'm totally okay with people looking at it and going, not for me. And being someone that is excited, I understand why other people are excited. I just don't get that middle section of people that just want to shit on it. Like, one of the very earliest things we learned in life is never judge a book by its cover, and that's exactly what that middle group of people are doing. And I get it. You love the Zack Snyder universe. I also like the Zack Snyder DC universe. I liked all of those movies. I love Batman vs. Superman. I loved his Snyder cut. But it's done. It's gone. And we have to move on and accept what we have now, and that's James Gunn. And in James Gunn, I trust. I think he's going to do a good job. I loved all of his Guardians of the Galaxy films. I cried like 4,200 times in the last one. And I'm excited to see what kind of heart he injects into Superman here, where we've been so devoid of it in other films. Anyway, guys, that's just a quick roundup of my thoughts of some of the more popular trending topics of last week. If you like this segment, let me know and I'll continue to do more of them. I'm trying to find new content to give you guys other than my once a week movie reviews. I do have a retro movie review coming out either tomorrow or the day after that, and then this weekend I'll have 2 new movie reviews for you guys, so stay tuned for that. Anyway, guys, if you like this stuff, please give me a like and a subscribe, and as always, guys, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll catch you next time.